Spider-Man Across the Multiverse is everything Doctor Strange wishes it was. The film tackles the difficulties in telling a story that spans across multiple universes and still manages to make it grounded as well. The multiverse is the big thing currently in superhero movies, and to be fair, most of them have just struggled with telling it. We had Spider-Man No Way Home that done a really good job, that kind of introduced the whole thing. And then since then, it's been a bit of a letdown. And now back with Spider-Man Across the Multiverse, it's finally looking good again. As it feels like it's a very difficult concept to explain, as well as trying to give your characters enough development time to really be able to make the film engaging. Across the Multiverse is just as much about Gwen Stacy as it is Miles Morales. Both characters have kind of a parallel storyline in their own in their individual universes. They're both struggling with whether or not they should reveal their identity to their loved ones and the difficulties that will bring once they do. However, Gwen is seen as more of the Spider Menace in her universe, whereas Miles Morales, he's getting on pretty well and cooperating very well with the police. Since his father's a cop, they've actually managed to bond. So this is the grounded part of the story, which works very well in contrast with the grandness that is the multiverse. So we learned that Spider-Man 2099 is leading Spider-Man across the multiverse as he tries to save people across the multiverse, trying to keep canon events in play, as well as stopping dangers that are happening across the multiverse. Miles Morales happens to come up with the main villain of this film. He's easily passed off as a villain of the week in a very comical and fun way, but only for his power to grow as the film develops into a massive multiversal threat. And this draws the attention of Spider-Man 2099 as him and his gang of spider people work together to help Miles stop this threat. Things don't quite plan out the way they want it to, and Miles is left isolated and alone as he tries to escape all the different spider people and save his own universe too. So there are a lot of good things about this film. Starting with just the story, the characters of Gwen and Miles are very well done here. They're very well portrayed. They've got very good character developments. They've got very good character arcs. Gwen has some very emotional scenes back in her timeline or back in her universe. Miles doesn't quite come full circle yet, as it seems to be that there will be an inevitable third movie, but his arc is developing here. The film is genuinely funny. It's something that you would expect from a Spider-Man movie. However, he is known to be very quippy. So the film works very well on the comedy level. The action is superb. Where the film stands out the most will have to be the animation style. It's the only film that I've seen that actually experiments with different forms of animation. Different styles, different drawings, even some like real life animation that you just don't get from any other movie. Now it does have the benefit of saying, well, this is across different multiverses, so they do look very different. Whereas a normal film which takes place in one doesn't quite have the ability to claim all these different styles in animation. However, I do love the fact that this film does have all these different styles, because just doing the Pixar computer animation style, which does look fantastic, is just a little bit tiresome now. We went from the classic Disney drawn style, which was beautiful but did start to run its course and may see some resurgence in the future, the Pixar's CGI style. And then since then, there's not really been any sort of interesting animation going around. And this film manages, I guess it would be an animator's dream. You could just try what you wanted. There was sort of no limit to different... Unfortunately, no film can be perfect, and I do feel like this film does have some faults that let it down. One of the big one is all the other spider people. Miles Morales is a very good character, and you want to develop his character and have him become stronger and stronger, and he is the main character in this film. But in doing so, I feel like they made all the other spider people, who are very capable and superheroes in their own universes, they all seem just a little bit more stupid in this movie to elevate Miles. I'm a big fan of the Scarlet Spider and Ben Reilly, and he really did, I mean, it was quite comical, but he did really kind of get the harsh end of the stick. And there is a moment where Miles absolutely fools everyone. It's just like, it just feels a little bit underwhelming for all these thousands of spider people. None of them could figure out something that could have been happening, and just made all the other spider people just seem a little bit incompetent. And I'm not really a big fan of like the only way to make someone look good is to make other people look bad. Anyway, just because the spider people have to be dumbed down a little bit in this movie to elevate Miles, it doesn't ruin the film. The film is still a fantastic movie that I highly recommend. I don't really like giving scores out. I would say it's a film I recommend. And I would also go along the lines of if you liked this movie, or if you like these other films I'm going to suggest, then you will like this film. The only thing that kind of competes with it in terms of animation style is Arcane, which also felt like it drew on several different styles, even though it only took place in one universe. Just to get feelings and emotions across of the characters, there was like different art styles. Arcane is the only other program or movie I can remember that kind of does something similar as Across the Spider-Verse does. Also, if you haven't seen White Snake 2 or Green Snake, depending on where you are in the world, it's the same movie, which is also a fantastic Chinese animation movie, as well as Naja, another Chinese animation movie, which is fantastic. And if you like any of these films, you will love Across the Spider-Verse, and vice versa. If you love Across the Spider-Verse, I highly recommend these films and shows. I have one more episode of Bloodhound to watch. So if you've made it this far in the video, a massive thank you for staying with me. I hope you have an amazing day and an even better week. But for now, I'm going to go finish the last episode of Bloodhound, so I am done.